Well, you guys asked for it. We are doing a Carnival themed horror movie month. Now, I put up a poll on YouTube a few weeks ago asking if you guys prefer if I did Carnival amusement park theme or camping horror. And 68% of you said Carnival/amusement park. So this is what we're doing. I'm super excited. I'm happy you guys chose this only because while everybody's getting ready for school, you know, everybody's doing back to school stuff. And I feel like let's have fun one last time. What we like to do before we go back to school, before we get back to heavy loads of work, before fall comes, let's have some fun at an amusement park. So I'm so happy you guys chose this because not too many people talk about horror theme park movies. So let's get into it.
I like it spooky.
Hey Horror Headz, welcome back to my channel, and today I am talking Tobe Hoopers, The Funhouse. I had to choose this movie as my first movie to review because, again, not too many talk about movies like this, and I feel like it'd be super appropriate because it's a Funhouse Carnival movie, you know, it's horror, right? And it's a slasher, monster movie, right? Sorta, kinda, maybe, in the middle. You get most of those things in this movie, and it's just a fun time, you know? It's Tobe Hooper. He did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we're going to talk about The Funhouse. Before I get started with this review, please make sure you guys hit that like button to show your boy some love. It helps your boy out so much in the algorithm of YouTube land or whatever. And subscribe if you're new. Welcome. I'm Bobby Torres. Welcome to my channel. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and show your boy some love. Now, let's get on with The Funhouse. Yeah. 4 teenagers visit a local carnival for a night of innocent amusement. They soon discover, however, that there is nothing innocent or amusing there at all. The Funhouse was written by Lawrence Block and directed by Tobe Hooper. I remember watching this movie as a kid with my cousins on a weekend, and we had so much fun watching this movie. But I will say, I think most of us fell asleep in the beginning of this movie just because it took so much time to build up into the actual action, the actual, you know, meat and grits and stuff that we want in a horror film. It took some time to get there. And as a kid, I really didn't appreciate it as much, but I did appreciate the monster. He was pretty cool. But as an adult, it's not as long to get to that point, and it's not too bad. I really enjoyed this film now as an adult, and I can understand it a little bit more. Now, for this type of movie, you expect, you know, some excellent kills, some brutal kills, creative kills, because, I mean, Funhouse, hello. But we don't really get too much of that, you know? Like, we don't really get too many creative kills. Some of the kills are okay, but very much lukewarm. It didn't give me what I needed, and I felt like it was much more effective when I was a kid. But as an adult now, I'm just like, oh, I feel like that was more effective when I was younger, but it's really basic. But the best thing in this movie is definitely the monster. You know, he's just, you know, deformed creature, and I feel like Tobe Hooper got a thing with deformed creatures. I mean, come on, you got Leatherface, and now you got this monster, and I forgot his name, but I feel like both of these characters got one thing in common. And don't hate me for this, don't throw tomatoes, because, you know, sometimes that happens. But sometimes you feel like there's a little bit of sympathy for both of these characters. Like Leatherface, I know he's messed up, you know, what he's doing to these people is screwed up, you know, his family's screwed up. But I feel like that's his family fault, and he didn't know any better, and that's what he knows, and that's what he learned. So he's just pretty much an innocent bystander. He's just doing what his family taught him to do. Same thing in this movie here. This monster, I kind of feel bad for him. Yes, he's hideous, and yes, he's, you know, messed up. He's violent. He does a lot of messed up, crazy things. Like he's killing teenagers and kids and things like that. But I feel like he's only doing this because of, you know, his parents, particularly his dad. I feel like his dad is forcing him to do these things and is messing up his psyche. And I know he can't really live a normal life because of how he looks. But as a parent, you have to find a positive way to maneuver around that. And I felt like in this movie, he's building upon that monster. Like, yes, he already looks like one because, yes, he does have a face only a mother can love. Horrible thing to say. You feel like you want to give your kid maybe an easier life. Don't build on that monster character. And I feel like that's what happens in this movie. It's not necessarily the monster's fault. I feel like it's the parents' fault in both of these movies here, but that's another conversation. Now for these teenagers, I actually feel like it's their fault that they actually got killed. First of all, who decides to stay the night inside a funhouse? You have no business staying there. You're trespassing. Yeah, you're a teenager, dumb kid or whatever, but like, Are you seriously going to do this? And I also blame Amy because her parents told her not to go to the carnival because 2 girls went missing and then turned up dead not too far from the carnival. But she decided to go with her friends anyway. Yes, she was trying to persuade her boyfriend to go to the movies and things like that. But no, he overruled that and they still went to the carnival. Now, it's bad enough going to the carnival, right? Have fun, do your thing, then just leave. Act like it just didn't happen. Don't tell your parents. But then you decide to stay the night there. So now the worst case scenario is that something is probably going to kill you. If you heard that kids turned up dead not too far from the carnival, what makes you think that you're going to be okay yourself? Especially if you're trespassing and staying the night somewhere you shouldn't be staying the night at. So as what my girl Linda would say from Halloween, it's your own fault and I don't feel a bit sorry for you.
Totally.
The things I liked about this movie is that Tobe Hooper definitely knew what he was doing with this movie as far as setting the aesthetic of making the Funhouse. It actually felt like a carnival. Sometimes when you watch movies, you can just tell that they're just there for movie purposes. You don't really feel like you're in it. In this movie, I feel like they did a great job as making us feel that we are part of this carnival. It makes it feel like we are enjoying our time with these kids at the carnival a little bit. Also, the music sets the tone in this film. I'm a big fan of score and music inside horror films because that ultimately sets the tone of the movie. So for you to have a carnival themed movie, you have to have that type of music. You have to have that whimsical, goofy, but creepy type of music. And I feel like the composer did such an excellent job with this movie because he blended the suspense, the creepiness with the whimsical and like fun but goofy together, and it added a sense of dread in this movie, especially when all the suspenseful scenes was happening and all the crazy moments was happening, particularly the kills. It set the tone just right, and that's what I appreciate so much about this film, and I think that's what makes me like it even more because it feels creepy, it feels haunting, and you feel like something's lurking around the corner. So the composer understood the assignment there. Shout out to John Bell. Also, what I liked about this movie is the creature design of the monster. It was actually pretty dope. It always been an image that was stuck in my brain ever since I was a little kid. Even though I haven't seen this movie in years, I still remember what that monster looked like. It's terrifying. I never really seen anything like it, with that pale, face, with the kind of split head look a little bit, and then the drool and just the way he moves and screams and yells. It's just effective creature design, and I enjoyed it a lot, especially for this type of movie. I just wish that we knew a little bit more about this creature and where he came from and just the backstory. I feel like that would be helpful to getting to know about this creature. But I feel like watching this movie, you could understand the type of environment he grew up in. So in the beginning of this video, I said I had a little bit of sympathy for him just because I feel like all of this is not his fault, it's his father's fault. But creature design in this is 2 thumbs up. I love it a lot. Last thing I liked about this movie, and it's kind of weird, but I feel like maybe this was like the creepiest thing to me in this movie opposed to the monster. And this might be something very small, but it's also something that stuck with me from a kid all the way up into an adult. And it's the laughing mechanical lady that's sitting on top of the Funhouse. Now, in the beginning, when they first get to the carnival and you see her sitting on top of the Funhouse laughing, I'm just like, all right, she's having a good time up there laughing at everybody. I don't know what the hell's her problem, but I would like to sit with her. But by the end of the movie, when all the stuff happened, and Amy's the last survivor, she's leaving the Funhouse, she found a way out, and everybody's packing up to move on to the next destination outside the carnival. See the big mechanical lady sitting on top of the Funhouse, laughing. Now, I took that, even as a kid, I understood that she's laughing at Amy. After all the traumatic stuff that Amy went through inside that Funhouse, Amy made it out alive, and I felt like that was just like a last, F you. She was laughing at her, and for some reason that creeped me out. Just experiencing what Amy went through. Who wants to see and hear that after they were just fighting for their life, I would throw a rock at her or attempt to throw a boulder at her or some type of thing just because, look, she would break. I don't care. After I've been through all of that stuff, I'm angry. I lost my friends, I almost been killed. I had a rough night. You're laughing at me after this traumatic event? No.
I'm taking you down.
So yeah, that was a creepy moment to me. It's something very small, but it's effective. One of the major things I disliked in this movie is I feel like they do this all the time in 80s movies, and it bothers me so much. In the beginning of the film, again, they pay homage to Halloween and Psycho. In this moment here, you see something's coming after Amy in, you know, its point of view. You don't know who it is yet. You obviously watched her in dress, and she's obviously ass naked because she's taking a shower. Why would you want to pull a prank as far as like fake stabbing your sister while she's butt ass naked in the shower? It's like, I understand that, you know, as a sibling, you want to play pranks on your older brothers and sisters, but can you find a more appropriate time? Same thing with Night of the Demons. Why the little turd in that one have to watch his grown-ass sister getting dressed, wait till she getting dressed, watching her the whole entire time to play a prank on her, and then make a comment talking about her boobs? Like, that is so disrespectful and such like pervert behavior. I hate that so much. I don't understand why is that a thing. Maybe people did that back in the day, but that's disgusting. Also, I wish the kills were more creative in this movie. In a movie that's titled The Funhouse, I expected the kills to be more creative. They came off very lukewarm, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Just didn't do too much for me, and I expect that all the props and gadgets that's inside of a funhouse that you can be creative with, you can actually do something with it, and I feel like they fell short with that in this movie here, unfortunately. The characters, I really didn't feel too much for these teens. Like, I felt like I didn't care if they died, and when they did die, I was just like, oh well, that sucks. On to the next one. Now, you expect things like that from Friday the 13th, maybe even a little bit on Nightmare on Elm Street, but even in Nightmare on Elm Street, they work with their teenagers a lot. You actually feel sorry for them when they die. Well, most of them. There's actually some depth to those characters where you actually feel sorry for them when it's their time to go. In this movie here, I really didn't care. Even for Amy, and she's the main character, I really didn't care if she got killed or not. And it's a shame because you want to build on those characters, so you could have those feelings, but I just didn't get that for the Funhouse, unfortunately. Also, I wish Amy's little brother would have got killed. I'm sorry, I know I don't condone violence on kids, y'all, and I know 80s is a whole, you know, situation where you can't kill kids, you know, it's real taboo, you can't do things like that. But in this movie here, I feel like if he got killed in the same way he was trying to fake kill his sister, I would have absolutely loved that, and it would have been epic, and I feel like it would have raised the stakes a little bit more. But he sneaks out the house, go to the carnival, get scared to death, get picked up by his parents, and then go back home. That's all he get. I feel like that could have been left out of the movie because that didn't even serve a plot in this film, really. You cut to scenes where you see him leaving and going to the carnival and having a little bit of fun by himself, and then as everybody leave, he's not seeing his sister, but it didn't really do anything for the movie at all. So I was just like, well, what's the point of that? He should have just gotten killed. But other than that, I feel like The Funhouse was a good time, guys. Like, I don't really have too many dislikes. I feel like this is a good movie. Like I said before, to watch with friends. It's a good time. Watch it on a Friday, Saturday night. Get your snacks and, you know, put your feet back and enjoy the ride. So my rating for The Funhouse would be a 3 out of 5, a Horror Headz watch. Yes, I gave it a 3 out of 5 only because I wanted more creative kills. I wanted some more depth to the characters, and we didn't really get any of that. And I felt like they could have just dug a little bit deeper as far as storyline in this movie. But I get it, budget, things like that, whatever. If they was to remake this movie, which I don't mind if this movie was to be remade, because I feel like this is one of the few movies I don't mind because I think it needs it. If they was to remake this movie, I feel like they can do so many creative and awesome things now. But definitely check out The Funhouse. I recommend. It's a fun movie. Don't take it too serious, and, you know, just have a good time and enjoy it. Yes, you might see some of the problems I had with it, but who knows, you might feel the opposite way. Before you guys go, question of the day. Would you and your friends stay the night inside a funhouse? For me, no. But I'm curious to know your guys' answers. So let me know in the comments below. Maybe you come out alive, maybe you don't. I don't know. It depends on what you do. So let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. This used to be a fun house. Now it's full with evil clowns. Do 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 do.